man.
I change your bum life. You fight me, it's a celebration.
I will beat you.
When you sign to fight me, it's a celebration. You ring back home, you ring your wife. Baby, we done it. We're rich, baby. Conor McGregor made us rich. Break out the red
team.
panties.
Let's get it all!
Yo, welcome back to the MMA Short Show. As always, your boy, Steven Moustaris. And you know what, guys? I've been talking about UFC 288 all week, and, you know, I know we only got a couple days left, but, man, I really want to talk about it, dude. You know, if this is the end, like we're low-key hearing right now, of Demetrious Johnson, Mighty Mouse, you know, I just had to sit back. You know, if you guys have been watching my channel at all, like, you guys know I'm big on, you know, always kind of just giving our fighters the flowers. This is why I do these videos. You know, I want to give these guys the credit that, you know, they deserve. Like, you know, the way that we look up to our NBA players, our, you know, our NFL players, our MLB players, even the hockey guys back in the day, like Sid the Kid Crosby and all these guys, you know, for people my age that we grew up and started loving. It's like, you know, it's like we've always looked up to them like they're heroes. And even guys like WWE wrestlers and shit, like, you know, we're looking at these guys like they're heroes. And, you know, for me, MMA fighters are low-key those guys. You know, I am getting a little older now where I'm not necessarily, you know, I'm almost, you know, I'm 29 or whatever. It's like, yeah, I'm not necessarily like looking up to these guys as much as like, you know, I used to like a kid would, but I definitely respect these guys even more. And after training a couple years and things, you know, like, you know, you really start to learn how to respect these dudes. And, you know, I think they deserve more than what these NBA guys, you know, NFL players, MLB players deserve, you know? So, you know, it's almost fitting, you know, for me to do a video just shouting out Mighty Mouse, man. It's one of my all-time favorite fighters. I think he is definitely in there in the GOAT conversation. I think it's only him and John Jones deserve to be up there talking about it. And you can even argue, guess what? John Jones has been popped, you know, even though that's my guy. John Jones is my dude. Like, even though he popped for, you know, whatever the hell, the picograms and everything, like, you know, Mighty Mouse never did. And Mighty Mouse truly fought at his weight and truly did his thing. And, like, as funny as it is and as much respect as I'm giving him, I'll never forget becoming a fan of him. You know, it was 2011. I mean, I think it was his third fight, I think, in the UFC. And I remember being like, maybe even second. But I remember he was fighting Miguel Torres. And I thought at that time, Miguel Torres was that guy. I know he lost a couple of that time. I think just a couple months before then he finally lost a couple. But that dude was on like a 12-fight win streak, I'm pretty sure. And he was an absolute killer. Thought he was going to be a champion and everything. And Mighty Mouse comes in and just absolutely dominates him. And then, I mean, it's just off to the races at that point. Like, I think right after that, I think he loses to Dominic Cruz and then has that, like, draw with Ian McCall. But then right after that, he goes on a tear. You know, the wars that he had with Ian McCall, like I said, the wars he had with John Dotson. Oh, my goodness. Even the wars he had, well, I guess the one war he had with Joey Benavidez, because the second time he knocked him out in the first round. Like, just so many things that this man has done that, like, he just deserves all the flowers, all the respect, everything. Like, this is an iconic moment if he does retire this weekend. And, you know, I really think that he's got a really big hard fight coming in here with Adriano Moraes. But it's, you know, it's definitely going to be a tough one here. Like, I think they're 1-1. They both knocked each other out. And I can't lie to you guys. I definitely watched his fights at one, but like, I watched his like first 5 fights, whatever he's had in one. But like, you know, it's just not the same as it was when he was the UFC. Even though these guys are fucking crazy good and might even be more talented than the guys we see at the UFC, but like, we just don't watch them. They're not in the mainstream here, at least in the, you know, in North America. But you know, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I watch every one card. I know all these guys like I do the UFC and Bellator and stuff. Like, no, I definitely don't. But, you know, I definitely understand that these guys are fucking phenomenal and what he's done ever since this trade to, you know, it's just phenomenal. And we can really look into it, man. Like, you know, there's arguments out there. I think a big reason that he's so high up there for me when it comes to GOATs and everything is not just his record, not just his, you know, championship wins and everything. It's honestly what he goes through, man. And, you know, as much hate as 125's gotten from the UFC and, you know, different promotions over the years and even fans because they're smaller guys. And you can even argue 135, but like, you know, 125, man, like, even though they are smaller and everything and they're not the big heavyweight guys, it's like at the end of the day, man, those guys are the most talented and you got to be the most well-rounded guy at 125. And I don't care what anybody says. Their brains, man, their reaction time, their thinking, like just how smart they are. Like, honestly, like I guarantee you 125, them guys are fucking smart, or at least their reaction time is way better than the average person because these guys move so fucking quick. And like, I swear, you watch a minute of these guys fighting, just their transitions at 125 compared to what you'd see even starting at like 170, you know, 170 or 185, even stuff like that. And then not to mention like heavyweight, like, these guys are always moving. You got to be ready. You got to be on the go. You got to be doing the damn thing. And for Mighty Mouse to do this nonstop every single night is just the most impressive thing in the world. And not only was he so dominant, and he could have easily rode out victories like we saw what GSP started to do at the end of his career. We see so many people now, like a Kamaru Usman did it. You see it everywhere. I can go on for days and days. Like, this is like a huge way that people win nowadays. It's like the Colby Covington style, just riding them until they're tired and not really going for a finish. Like, no offense, but like I just did a video talking about Bilal Muhammad. Clearly, like, there's guys like this that like ride out victories, and that's one thing with Mighty Mouse. He could have been absolutely fucking destroying you, but like his victory over Kyoji Hiraguchi, like, oh my god, bro, like there was 1 second left in the 5th round, and like I remember everybody was talking like, oh, this guy, it might be the one to do it. This Japanese guy is gonna come in here, he's gonna fucking beat him, and guess what he did? Fucking absolutely destroyed him, and he already won all 4 rounds, was looking to win all 5, and he goes like, no, I'm gonna pull off this armbar with a second left. His victory over Ray Borg, like, oh, sorry, Ray Borg. I don't know if you guys remember at this time, but oh, sorry, your kid's got some, health issues and you got to run, all these like GoFundMe things. Oh, he picks you up, fucking tosses you with a hip toss, and then puts you in an armbar. Says, I don't give a fuck. I'll break your arm. Like, what the fuck? He easily could have wrote it out for a minute. I think he had a minute, like 20 seconds left in the fight. Pulls off. It's in my fucking intro. It's literally in my intro. One of the greatest finishes of all time. Like, the way he finished Henry Cejudo, man, the first time he comes around, everybody's like, oh, this is him, the gold medalist. This is him. He might be able to do this. And what the fuck did he do? He finished him with a body shot, man, like in fucking knees and everything. And fucking disgusting. Just absolutely amazing. Like, everything this man has done, he deserves all the flowers, all the credit. His victories over John Moraga. I mean, his armbar against Wilson Hayes, who at that time was like a BJJ guy, and everybody's like, oh my God, this dude's a legend. He's going to get him. It's like every time that happened, he went out there and finished him, man. And it's just so fucking impressive, man. And it's like, it's for me, it's sad because I've been watching this sport now I talk about it, I'm a broken record now. I think it's going on 16 years that I've been like into it I haven't missed a card and everything. And it's like, it's like you start to see these guys that you grew up on and they're starting to come out of here and you're like, no, they still got so much left. And you're like, no, actually, they've been fighting forever, man. They've been champions. They've done everything they've set out to do. They've done more than. And, they got families. They got an extra life to live, man. You don't want to go brain dead. They need to go do these things. And it's like, it starts to get sad. So, I want to make sure that I get here and I give these guys the credit like I did with Nate Diaz, like I did with Frankie Edgar, like I'm doing with everybody, down Cerrone, like freaking everybody that you can, Jim Miller, all these dudes that you can think of, and clearly before them, Chuck Liddells, the Rashad Evans, the Rampage Jacksons, all the guys that literally paved the way, the Anderson Silvas for me, like, I know there's more earlier than that, but like I'm just saying for me who I grew up on and like even like Max Holloway, John Jones, like guys that like I'm huge fans of, they are getting older. They're coming down to their end. So for you guys that are maybe new to the sport or maybe been around longer than I have, like, every time that we come up on a big fighter nowadays, man, like really appreciate them while we got them, because guess what? By the end of it, it's like they're fighting bare knuckle or they're fighting celebrity boxing or, they're fighting slap boxing and it's like for that slap league and it's like fuck, man. Like, and everybody's thinking, oh, they're getting beat by YouTubers, and it's like, man, like you guys don't know these guys back in like they were in their prime. So like, it's just you got to really appreciate it while we got it, man. And shouts out to you, Mighty Mouse. I hope he gets it done this weekend. I know Adriano Moraes is a fucking dog. Like he literally has only lost 4 fights. He only got finished one time ever, and really only lost one time ever, and that was to Mighty Mouse just a couple months ago. And that's the craziest thing is that. And that he's only lost 3 like split decisions, so it's a really tough fight. Dude's an absolute killer, and all around it's a dangerous fight. And as much as I love Mighty Mouse, it does get sad every time that I hear a fighter, kind of announce that it's a retirement fight. It doesn't go well, and especially as of late. So I'm hoping it goes well for him. I hope he can get his flowers. Go off into the, the abyss as the champion or. As the on top and to do his own thing in his career. He's had one of the most amazing careers ever. And he's, don't even get me started, guys. Like that dude to me is just, I know Habib, retired undefeated and everything, but like, it just ain't the same. He didn't do as much as Mighty Mouse did. He didn't do as much as John Jones did. Like those two are the top 2 for me. And a GSP you can even add, like, because GSP is my guy too. But, I was around when GSP was getting hate. So I don't want to shit on it. But also the last thing I got to talk about too is like, just how fucked up it is that for this guy, like the UFC wanted to get rid of 125 so early and wanted to get rid of it so bad that there's arguments that man beat Henry Cejudo that night. And they're like, no, we want to get rid of 125 so crazy. Let's get rid of him. Let's trade him. It was like they blackballed the man. So like, There's an argument he's still running shit nowadays. Imagine the fight with him and Davis and Figueiredo. Oh my god, Brandon Moreno. Oh my god, those fights would have been amazing. So you never know. The Henry Cejudo third fight would have been cool, but regardless, shouts out to Mighty Mouse. I'm gonna be watching this weekend. I hope he gets it done. And just thank you, man, for the hell of a career and everything you've ever done. Like, just always being there as a true champion, always staying into yourself. Dude's a big gamer, loves his family, always out of the limelight. Deserved way more than what he actually got. And I hope one day after he retires and everything, I really, really hope that this guy gets the love he deserves, because that man was a fucking legend and never forget it. But as always, your boy Steven Moustaris, and let's go, baby. Shouts out to Mighty Mouse.